Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the George.Daniel podcast. I am your host, George.Daniel. And as you can see, it's another solo episode. People keep canceling on us, so fuck you guys, but I love you guys still at the same time. But yeah, before we get into our lovely episode for the day, I do want to give a shout out to Liquid Death. You can go get them at www.liquiddeath.com or your local convenience store, 7-Eleven, liquor store, all that jazz. But yeah, Matt, how was your weekend? Or how's your
week? I know, yeah. It's been a little while since we saw each other. It was good, dude. Vegas was chill. LA was crazy.
So you guys end up recording over there?
A little bit. I mean, I recorded the whole time because I was kind of following him around as he met everybody and met all his little fans and stuff.
Right.
But it was a lot of Poketubers, bro. So many freaking YouTube nerds. It's pretty wild, though. But it's kind of crazy to be in that element because it felt like I didn't have to be like embarrassed to have all my camera gear out,
right?
Because everybody had their cameras out.
That's kind of cool. I want to do that. I want to meet up with real actual content creators because this is content, but it's also
there has to be other conventions that are just not based off Pokemon and trading cards, but actually YouTube conventions.
Yeah, I mean for sure, but it's also just meeting people who aren't afraid to be in front of a camera, you know, like I mentioned, people fucking canceled on us constantly, and it's mostly, I feel anyway, it's mostly because they're too shy to fucking put their face out there.
Yep.
You know, and it's just dude, just if you make us believe 1/10 of the person that you think you are in your head, then people will believe you. But if you don't show up, then how are people going to take you serious?
It's wild too, man. I will meet so many people and they will just talk my ear off.
Yeah.
And just I'm like, man, you know, you'd be good on a podcast. You just gonna do it. And then immediately they shut down. It's I don't know what it is, man. I guess it's just the fear of the camera. I don't know.
And dude, they're so talkative to me at the club, at a bar, at these locations
where you're just
where we're literally yelling at each other, you know, and it's just or you guys can spare an hour and a half of your time, you know, 2 hours tops to drive over here, you know, and we can actually have a full on conversation about our feelings about this, you know, and all these things
that were flagrant as fuck, and I'll just edit the hell out of it.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
And it was hella funny because I've had a busy month. Thank you everyone for booking me and everything. But yeah, I was in Oakland. Then the next day I was in Sacramento. Then the following Friday, I went to I was here in San Jose at Noite. And then next week I'm gonna be again in San Jose. And in the beginning of the month, I didn't have a single gig, you know. So I was just oh, dude, it was a really cool feeling to not have anything, and then all of a sudden at a drop of a dime, just have 4 shows lined up.
That's kind of sick. Maybe it's the community being yo, he's doing something for us. Let's fucking.
I mean, I hope so. I hope so. But it's also so inconvenient for me in the sense of how I could help the event is by promoting it on here. And if you don't allow me a month in advance to really hype it up and be you know, then it doesn't make any sense. You know, this is my avenue to help everyone out. But the show in Oakland, it was a benefit thing for the LGBTQ community. And it was so much fun. Shout out Very Good Beat Club. Shout out all the crews that were there. It was just so much fun to see everyone come out, and it was in Oakland, and I haven't played in Oakland at all. So it was a fun time to go there, and I was there from 12 to 1, which was a prime fucking time slot.
Fuck yeah.
But
everything's getting down.
Yeah, and it was so much fun. I lost my USB. I forgot my headphones. The next day, I literally had to drive to Sacramento, so I had to buy a new USB. I had to go do all this stuff, download all the tracks. Half my tracks weren't even loading up. Once I got to Sacramento at Flamingo House, shout out Lex and all the girls at Meraki Sac.
Dude.
Shout out everyone at Flamingo House. They had a little day party. I pulled up and half my songs are working, and I was just fuck, dude, this is gonna be a mission. But
make it work.
Yeah, I had a hour and 15-minute set, and luckily, dude, when I got there, no shade at the guy who opened, but literally homie had fucking his trim all the way turned up. His master was like maybe like a third of the way. And I was just like, hey, who's doing sound here? You know, like just like real quick, like just like, yeah, literally. And I was like, all right, let's turn down the trim. Let's turn up the master. Try and like, I got there like 5 minutes before my set. So I wasn't able to really like, you know, get everything going. But I was just like, can you just tell them to turn up their speakers? And I'll turn down the master on here and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Cause there's like an old people home. And there's sound ordinance, so they literally have like the decibel like a decibel reader. So it was just like it was fucking It's so
if it gets above a certain amount, they have to put it down.
Put it down, yeah.
Oh, wow, that's kind of smart though, at least. So
yeah, exactly.
They can at least tell the police like, yo, if they do show up, like, yo, we have a meter right there.
Literally. So yeah, it was one of those situations, and it was really cool. It was really fun. It was my third time playing at Flamingo House, but it was also, honestly, it was really cool going down there, mostly to go see the girls. Like all the girls were out there. Lex pulled up for like the last like 30 minutes, which was really cool. She had work and everything, but it was just good to see all the girls, or most of the girls, and hear them out. I haven't been able to talk to them for a while, and like really get to like, you know, like what's going on? Like some of you guys are DJs, some of you guys are like event coordinators. How's the, you know, the collective doing?
Yeah. That's dope.
So yeah, it was really cool. Some of them were really, you know, they're working. Let's just put it that way. They're working, and their work is definitely not. We love you guys. We love you guys. I love you guys. I'm always here for you guys. And yeah, I know it's hard. But you guys are fucking kicking ass and doing everything. And yeah, it was really fun going out there. Flamingo House is awesome. I was gonna plan on maybe sticking around because I had the next day off anyways. So I was like, I'm like, you know, sleep over, you know, and like hang out and see what's up. But like literally like right around 7:00. And you can see the sun kind of creeping down a little bit. You can just tell that the energy was just like, it's Sunday, bro. Like we gotta drive back. It's a 2-hour drive for us, you know. And yeah, it was a good ass time. There was like, Flamingo House is such a weird, like it's a cool bar, but it's so weird because there'll be like dogs there. It's small? It's small-ish, but there's like, you know, they have that patio. They have a patio and a bar inside and everything. It's just like
where do they have the DJ set up?
Outside for the day party. But then between 8 and 9, they're switching over to have a silent disco.
Oh, sick.
So then they have 3 decks, one playing hip hop, the other 2 playing like some sort of EDM.
It's kind of sick.
So like, and I was like, you know, I might just stay. Chongo was there. Shout out Chongo. I was able to talk to him, and he has some like major releases coming up for this summer. And he's kind of like Fully, like the same way that I talk about Fully, where I'm like, hey dude, like you're starting to get like too big for this pond. You know, like maybe like start looking at, you know, making some moves. And Fully has fucking, I mean, shout out to him, shout out to his management, and shout out to his crew. But like they've really managed to get him out, you know, go to Austin, open up for Walker and Royce, play with Shiba-san, and play in San Francisco.
This is all recently? Fully?
Fully, he just dropped his whole like summer dates, you know.
Okay, cool.
So like it's really cool, and like see him go to LA, see him go to Austin, see him go to I forget where else he's playing, but he's been picking up steam and opening up for these big artists.
That's dope.
And I mean he's technically signed, I guess, right? He's signed to the label, so he's like Basement Leak, which is Shiba-san's, and then he has Rules Don't Apply, which is Walker and Royce. And they've been really doing it. And he has a couple. I think he has a new EP with Walker and Royce's with the Rules Don't Apply. So go stream that. Also, speaking of streaming, dude, I think I just bought it, so we have to use it. But we are gonna be on fucking Spotify. Maybe this week, maybe next week. I don't fucking know. We're gonna see. But we're probably gonna drop first 15 eps, so you guys can kind of binge listen to all those. So go check that out. It's probably going to be in our link or in our link tree. So just click the link tree and you guys can go and see or listen to all of our episodes. Because I know some of you guys, I don't know why you guys like to listen to it.
You know what it is? I found out it's all these commuters.
Yeah.
You know what? I still visually watch my podcast in my car, which is probably not a good idea, but people like to just listen to the audio and they like that. But I
like to see the reaction, you know?
Because, we like a lot of comedy podcasts. So a lot of it's in the reaction. But when it's just like those, like, like what are those murder mystery like podcasts, stuff like that.
I can't get into that.
I can't get into that either. But like those to me, I wouldn't need to see the person talking.
Right.
It's only audio for me. Those.
Like those murder mystery ones. Like, dude, I might as well just read a book.
Exactly. You know? It's like an audio book. But it's like real life shit, I guess, or
but it's just like, dude, like I don't know, the murder mystery shit.
It's such a female thing, sadly.
I mean, low key, but it's just like it's so weird to like go about your day and just listening to murder or just listening to like missing, missing people.
It would make me depressed, bro. Like,
I just don't get it.
Yeah,
like unless you're in the psychotic mindset of like, at least it's not me. Right. That's the only like benefit that I can see from it, and I just don't understand it. I'm here for the LOLs. I'm here for for the ha-ha-has. All that shit. I don't really get even like business and like money talk and stuff like that. I'm just like, dude, don't like.
Yeah, it's hard for me to watch more of a serious podcast. Like I'll watch Lex sometimes, Lex Friedman.
Oh, okay.
And it's usually when he has a comedian on.
Yeah.
So that it's kind of serious, but then it also has little breaks of funny because the comedian can't help himself.
Like with him, I mean, he has a touch of the tism, right? Like,
yes, 100%, bro. That's why he fucking loves Elon.
Like you can just tell, right? So like you kind of go in it knowing, like if you go in knowing like how his demeanor is, then like you can listen to it. But like sometimes I like watching his podcast because if he has a comedian or he has someone who's kind of like a little flagrant, then you can see him like react, And
did you watch the Kanye one?
Yeah,
bro, that was like it was kind of hard to watch a little bit.
I think it's just so.
It was great,
funny.
But it was just kind of like, oh man, this is.
It's just
wild.
It's wild because like he'll lob up like Kanye to like say something to retract what he's like, oh, but you really meant this, right?
Yeah.
And then Kanye was like,
double down,
the Jews
bro.
did it, dude. And you're
double
just like,
down
what
on
are you
him.
talking about, dude?
He tried, bro. He tried so hard to like bridge the gap.
I think honestly, it almost sounded as if Kanye didn't know he was Jewish.
I think so. I don't think Kanye knew that.
You know what I mean?
Which was funny because every time he said something, he was just like, "Wait, you said like we like my people?" Like,
yeah,
and it kind of maybe threw him a little bit. But
it was so funny. It almost felt like as if Kanye thought he was going to like a more talk showy version of what Alex Jones is.
Maybe more like business minded.
Yeah, so that's what he thought. I feel like because he's wearing a suit, he has no emotion.
Very
he's
professional
just
the way he breaks down his podcast.
And like everything has a point. He'll tell people to like, hey, like let me finish my thought, and like tell people. And like I love that. I love I'm such a like.
I'm just too awkward to do that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like I'm too awkward or like, oh, thank you for interrupting me because I would have said something stupid. like
a little bit of both, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But nah, dude, so we're gonna be on Spotify. We're on TikTok. We're on fucking TikTok. All you fucking haters telling me that I need to jump on TikTok.
I mean,
and all this shit. Like we're on it. We're on it. I'm throwing up clips. I might actually even be doing more stuff on there than I am on the Instagram. Just because
maybe like more of the clips kind of directed that way, huh?
Yeah, more clips oriented, more. I might even do some like behind the scenes type stuff, just start recording a little bit of that, just to like kind of liven it up, and you guys can get to some like real BTS on what we do and like how the magic happens.
It's cool. It'll give them like intent to go over and check out the TikTok because there's different content on there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the main thing that I was like thinking about, and which is why I was so hesitant to open up another fucking account on another fucking social media thing. Like literally it was just like, oh, well, I can't just keep posting all the stuff that I posted on Instagram on here and then try to funnel them over to our YouTube and also our Instagram. Yeah. It's just a lot, you know?
It'll get repetitive too. So it'll be nice to, it's good to do that, but also to throw some specialty kind of content that only they get on TikTok.
Yeah. So like, you know, if you see like OnlyFans links, if you see all that shit, it's going to be on TikTok, you know? It's where the eyeballs are at. All the eyeballs are, bro. You know? But yeah, dude, like I even was talking to one of our old coworkers, and she's also a creator of sorts, but she sent me her TikTok and I couldn't watch any of her stuff, so I created an account, and that's why we, you know, just me being like a fucking nosy fuck is the reason why, you know. But yeah, so now China has all my information. They're listening to this podcast right now, even before you guys, dude. But yeah, shout out to China. Dude, also it's so fucking addicting, dude. That's another reason why I didn't want that shit. It's so fucking addicting. Like literally I was on that shit just watching. I know everything about aliens now.
Dude.
Like, dude, don't even
their algorithm is like next level, dude. It'll know that you stayed a little extra long on that last video. Yeah. The very next video has to do with that last video.
Literally. And I think also, it's also because, okay, well, I mean, I probably shouldn't be, I mean, it's connected to our Gmail for the pod, which is also connected to our YouTube. So I be watching reels on our you know, on our YouTube, pods so that it like pops up over here, and I'm like, damn, dude, like you guys already know everything about me, everything, which is nice, I guess, you know. But yeah, I was just like, I don't know how to find people. I don't know who's on that, you know, and I'm not gonna just search up like Bert Kreischer, you know, or like, you know, like I'm not gonna do that. So if you guys follow me, I'll follow you back. The first 500 people I'll follow back. So yeah, fucking go on TikTok, find us, George.Daniel.pod. Cool. That's where you can find all that stuff. And then sooner or later, we're weekly going to be on Spotify, weekly on SoundCloud. I was thinking about putting all our stuff on Apple and everything else, but I don't know, dude. Let's be real.
Yeah, dude.
Unless you're like 37 and older, you're not using the podcast app. You're not on Apple Music. Like if you have Apple Music and not Spotify, to me that means you have a green bubble. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like that's a me thing, and I realize that. I'm jaded, I'm dumb. I know. But like, dude, like how do you have an Apple account and not a Spotify account? And like the Arjun has it because his parents pay for it, and like we all know how Arjun is.
Put it on blast real quick.
Yeah, you know, like, but it's like I don't understand it. Like us, our generation especially, like we grew up with Spotify. We grew up with LimeWire. Anything green.
I'm a little older, so I remember Pandora was really relevant, and then Spotify took over.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Pandora was like the one
for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we even have work, we use Pandora, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And you create a station and just fucking go on with your day.
Goes,
dude, yeah. Pandora at work before it was like licensed and stuff like that was amazing. Mm-hmm. You know, like
you get in trouble, dude.
Well, now they have business accounts, so now they like comb through all the all the explicit stuff, because we were listening to like Biggie, and then next it'd be like K-Tronada, and then next it'd be like some weird EDM shit,
and then they're like, "There's some kids, bro. They're hella cussing in this track."
Yeah, yeah. But no, like it was a wild time. We've lived through some wild fucking times where like the internet has just like, because there's no laws in the internet, it's hard to corral in the real world, you know? So like when like new technology or new apps or new this comes along, it's hard to like as a like a business owner, as a teacher, even, or as like an adult, like how do you manage this? How do you not let your kids watch this or listen to this or do that or blah blah blah?
Now there's a whole thing where they're like they tell you not to let your kids use social media or like devices till they're a certain age. And I remember like at one point they were just handing iPads to little kids.
Dude,
just like, here, dude, stop bugging, stop crying. And
literally,
that was just how so many kids grew up just attached to these things. And now they're realizing that so many of those kids are like antisocial and just awkward.
Dude, my little cousins.
And they're like, yeah, it maybe shouldn't, you should let them just kind of interact with other kids in the other world before they get stuck into this world. Like,
yeah.
I forget what age these things are the new appropriate time, but I never thought that would happen, and now it's like a total thing that they're talking about.
Like, I literally probably wouldn't. I wouldn't let my kid on.
After seeing what we see now, definitely not.
Yeah,
everything's on there.
Well,
nothing's
like
censored.
Well, don't get me wrong. Like, I'd give him an iPad. Like 3 hours a week isn't bad. You know, that's like a movie. It's a movie. Exactly. You can watch a movie, but like also. Like fucking put them in sports, put them in dance, put them in all these like extra shit where they're forced to like be with other kids. Yeah. Is probably more important than like not letting them on social media. I mean, the social media aspect part is probably the worst part of it, but like just being on YouTube or being on like these game sites. It isn't like bad. It's probably not that bad, you know. They're gonna hear the
so
N-word.
Much from YouTube.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna hear the N-word. They're gonna be called, you know, the word that we can't say because it's Pride Month. Streaming. Shout out Pride. Shout out y'all. But
shout out Bud Light.
Yeah, but
I still love it.
Yeah, I mean, like what can you do? They're for trans rights and they're for the troops. You know, so like that's America's beer right there.
Oh yeah, and I can't believe people are talking smack about it,
dude. I mean, I just don't. I
just don't give a fuck.
At this point I really don't give a fuck.
Same here.
Like and also next weekend Pride's happening in SF. I really wanted to go, but I unfortunately have a gig. Oh, my mom flies in on Friday. Shout out Norma, she's coming through.
From Jersey.
From Jersey, yeah. And like she's gonna be here for 2 weeks. My sister's gonna be here, and all that stuff. But I have a gig on Saturday, which is like the day that I wanted to go. Because like the first day is always the best day, you know? Where everyone just has zero rules, cocks are out, fucking everyone.
Before people are getting arrested and shit.
Yeah. Like day two is where like the weirdos come out. Because those are the people who are like, they're on a bender. They haven't slept, you know, like they're just like ready for anything, you know, they're just ready for action. And like, that's when it gets weird. But day one is so much fun because that's when like all the like, it's fun seeing straight hood dudes go do something with their like Latina girlfriend who's just like, babe, like, let's just go. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to get faded. It's fine. Don't worry. We're going to be faded. We're going to take the couch train. And, like, you won't even have to drive. Like, we're just going to go to, like, what is it? Union Square, typically? Yeah. And we're just going to go there. And then just seeing hood dudes just, like, just so lost.
Like, trapped me here. I ain't got my car.
Yeah, just like, dude, you're forced to be there. And you can't say anything because there's more of them than there are you know?
A lot of those fools have had a good ass time after.
Oh, for sure.
Couple drinks in them.
For sure.
In them.
Yeah. Literally, like, fucking start doing poppers. And
taking pictures of everybody.
Dude, it's hella funny. I love seeing people out of their element. Or like almost forced out of their element, you know, but to like have a good time. It's like, it's not like taking hood people to their first rave is so much fun because
I've got to witness it from afar and I'm like, that guy's first time here.
But. You know, like at first they're all like, what the fuck? And then next, you know, they see like enough booty that they're all like having a good time. And then next, you know, they have enough drinks.
They got glow sticks.
Yeah. Next thing you know, their shirts off, you know, and they're just like, you're like, who is this kid? Like, what the fuck? This fool has like San Jose's hat on his neck.
Dude.
But, you know, like the next day he has Plur tatted on this side.
Exactly.
It's so fucking funny. But that's straight up some like, I mean, I've never lived anywhere else, but like to me, it's like a very Bay Area experience.
I think so. Yeah.
Like seeing either like the nerdy Indian Asian kids like go to their first rave.
Techie kids get wild.
They get wild because they have.
That's a lot of my friends.
They have expendable money, you know. So they're all like, oh well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. So they get all the test kits. They make sure to get their Teslas. They make sure to get their Philip Pleins. Shout out Philip Pleins.
Me and my degenerate friends, we got into that shit early out of high school, and like towards the end of it, so we were just doing dumb shit, going to parties, and then once all my other like techie friends and the ones that got into those crazy fields started graduating college, all of a sudden there was like a second wave of those people that wanted to start getting into raves, and then they were like, "Man, didn't you go to these parties?" Like, yeah, I've been for the last like 3 or 4 years while you guys were in college. Like, I kind of got it out of my system already, but I'll go to a couple. And so it almost extended my like rave life with the second wave of my friends becoming little ravers. But
no, it's super interesting. I feel like I definitely did everything first out of my friends group.
For sure. You were super young.
I was always just down, you know? I was like, whatever it is, like, I'll try it once. I don't give a fuck what it is. Like, I'll try it once just to say that I did it, you know? And then after the fact, be like, I actually didn't really like that, you know? But at least I did it, you know? Like, and then, like, a lot of my friends either waited for me to do something, whether it was Jesus Camp, whether it was a rave, whether it was going to concerts, you know, like all this shit, drugs, whatever it was, like whatever it was, they're just like, try it out and tell me how you feel in 30 minutes, you know?
Fuck yeah.
Which was fun. Like I don't mind being like a somewhat guinea pig for someone. If it means that at the end of the day, you're gonna like either enjoy it more or not like ruin your life.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
But yeah, fucking going to raves at an early age was so much fun. It was more fun because I was sneaking in.
Yeah, that's dope.
You know, and being like 16 at a fucking rave, and you know, and you're just there with your fucking ripped shirt and you're just in there, you know. I was like, dude, I would go to raves. And then because I would have to jump like barbed wired fence, I'd have fucking cuts and shit. But I wouldn't care. I would just be like,
I made it.
Yeah, fucking whatever the fuck. I'll just pop whatever I needed and then just get it on. But like literally, like I would go in and then one year I went in with a crop top because it like the barbed wire like sliced my shirt, and I was like, well then fuck it. I'm like, if there's any place that I'm not gonna get judged
exactly,
it's at Beyond Wonderland.
The universe was like, nah, dog.
Yeah, so I just went in. I had a fucking crop top baseball tee, dude. I looked like the hottest 14-year-old there, dude.
Jailbait walking around.
Yeah, dude. Like they were like everyone was either like looking at me like, oh, that's a baby, or like, oh, that's a fed. Like it was not,
dude. Fun. No, you definitely had a baby face.
Yeah, dude.
Probably like
for sure, dude. I like at 16, I definitely looked like 13. And yeah, that's a problem. But speaking of problems, dude. All right. So a couple things dropped this week, month, whatever. One being on HBO, The Idol with Abel, aka The Weeknd, and Johnny Depp's daughter. Yeah, but another thing is
Rose. There you go. Lily Rose Depp.
Yeah, and another one was The Flash. And both of those ones have some creepy dudes apparently. Blah 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 blah. But the art is artin', you know? Right? Like, I mean, like, I don't know, man, dude. I don't know how many millions of people probably visit the Vatican, but that's all, you know?
Yeah.
Like, y'all be celebrating all that, you know? You guys buy the merch, you know, as Theo Von would say.
Like, dude, no, yeah, that new Flash movie is fire.
That's what I hear, and I really want to go see it. And also, I'm really happy that DC is putting some fire under fucking Marvel's ass.
Yeah,
because I mean, don't get me wrong, like
they stole James Gunn, bro.
That's what he did.
The new Guardians movie was probably the best Marvel movie they've come out with this in the recent one.
Right, dude. I still haven't.
It was good.
I still haven't seen the new Marvel movie. I still really want to go see it. So once again, I'm asking all of you guys, fucking come with me. Like no, yeah, I really want to go see the Flash. Looks really good, especially. I like the fact. I mean, it's kind of like cheap, I guess. you know, like it's the same formula, but it's cool to see a different character, like different characters, right? Because for me being just like a novice fan of both Marvel and DC, it's nice to think that like maybe at some point they're gonna collab.
That's what the whole like, you know, they thought about that, but the fact that DC can't keep up, they're just like, bro.
But I think this is the start.
This is it. No, for sure. James Gunn is gonna like be the next Kevin, whatever Feige, whatever who runs Marvel. He's gonna do that, dude. He's so brilliant, and he's more flagrant than Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Peacemaker?
That needs to be. That's DC.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. What I mean? It's a little darker. It's a little bit more brutal. It's like
because with me, DC was always about the animation, like their animated.
Their animated doesn't. Marvel can't touch.
So fucking good. I don't know why. Like I just don't believe Marvel when they do cartoons. Stuff, you know, like it doesn't feel right. Like I need the Justice League. I need Young Justice. I need fucking whatever Teen Titans. You know, like those ones are near and dear to my heart. But yeah, I think with this new Flash movie and then the new, I think it's called Beetle.
Oh, Blue Beetle.
Yeah, right. Beetle,
yeah, with Cobra Kai.
Miguel. Yeah. And it's it's I mean, I want to hate on it because like, dude, honestly, like there's been some like okay, to put it in perspective, right? I love and will always support brown shit forever. But sometimes I'm like, we don't what's her name? Eva Mendes or Eva Longoria? Eva Longoria. She did the Flaming Hot, which is the story of the Hot Cheetos guy.
I didn't know that that's like a myth or
it's not real.
I thought that was real this whole time. So when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, dope. They're giving this guy his movie finally. And then everyone in the comments was like, bro, they found out that was fake. It wasn't a real story. Like, oh, well, then this is just a fake movie then?
Well, like, dude, my favorite part...
I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to watch it.
It's a good movie. And
I love those.
One of the little kids is the kid who blew up on like Instagram doing all the like...
Yes!
Yeah, and
didn't his dad die? Was that the one?
Oh my God. Did he really?
I think he's a little kid where his dad passed away.
Damn.
But him and his dad used to do all the skits together, and he was hella good. I think it might be him. I think it might be him, dude. Because I looked at him and I remember seeing him in the trailer. I was like, "Is that the little like social media kid
guy?" Right?
It may be. Yeah. I think so. But maybe I got it wrong. Maybe it's another little social media, but. That might be the one.
I think that is him.
But yeah, I did see that little kid in there.
Dude. I feel bad for talking shit about the movie then. But he did amazing. But the overarching like, I don't know, like,
was it like they? I don't know.
Okay, so at the end
from the trailer, I'm trying to figure out what went wrong. What
don't get me wrong. The movie itself is supposed to be one of those like corny feel good movies, and it did an amazing job. It's a white man can't jump. You know, white man can't jump. Like that's exactly what it is. It's just a movie. Yeah, you know, it's just like it's not supposed to like tell you anything.
Not supposed to be like, oh my, I can't wait for part 2. It's just like,
there is no part 2.
That happened, and that's
like, but at the like for me, like I'm just so tired of like these like brown exploitation whatever films. Like. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant with this Blue Beetle movie. Yeah. Because it's about a brown guy, and then they have like luchador type vibes to it. Where I'm like, all right, we're not like, and maybe it's because of the comics. That's how he is, and all this shit, and blah blah blah. But I'm just so over.
I've never even really fucked with Blue Beetle stuff like that.
Like if he pulls up in a lowrider and he has cholo homies and like all this shit, that's where I'm over it. You know, I'm out. I'm just like I'm like, dude, like not all like. Where's our dope? You know, like how they made dope and made them like made nerdy black kids do hood shit. Yeah, is how most brown kids do hood shit. You know, like most of the time, if you're not born into it, the only way that you're in it is because you have to do it. You know,
who did a good job recently was This Fool.
Yes.
That one, I thought I was so fucking funny, dude. And I can relate to the main character so bad because I know an uncle or a cousin just like this motherfucker.
Exactly.
That's just like, crazy, but not because he wants to be. It's just because that's just who he is. Like,
yeah. No, and like
I thought that shit was dope.
And I think this was a really good example of it, where they're all like, the main character, he works at the I forget, not a clinic.
Yeah, it's
not but like
cousin, right? The more straight edge one.
Yeah.
I forget what he does, but it's definitely like more social kind of work.
Yeah, it's like social work / like, you know, he works for an organization to help like felons essentially. But like seeing that dynamic is more, to me anyways, more relatable, because I have more, like, my family is split in half. It's, you know, it is this like, well, I graduated high school, but I wasn't going to go to college. So I'm going to work at this restaurant and I'm going to sell a little bit of, you know, like just to kind of get by. And the other guy went to school, got their degree, but can't find a job, you know, like no one wants to hire this fool, you know, like
even though he tried to do good.
Yeah. And it's just like, you're still going to be a brown guy no matter what no matter what.
Yeah, that's why that show's dope.
Yeah, and it was a good that one's a good like representation.
There's this other show, you hear about it? I don't know if they ever released it, but it's called Primos, and it's a Disney cartoon.
No, I haven't.
And it's like this Latin girl made it, and it's about this little girl. She's the main character, and she's got like a house full of all her cousins and siblings, and there's just so many of them. And like it's, dude, fucking Hispanic and Mexican people are so fucking mad about it, because it just like, they half of the kids are like dirty all the time, and the house is always like cluttered and dirty. There's like, why are you like portraying us like that? And then the main chick that created it, she's just like, I'm just going off of my own experience as a child. This is what I experienced. I had a house full of cousins and shit. But then at the same time, they're just like, dude, you're feeding into all the stereotypes that everyone already thinks about us. Probably not a smart idea, because now like everyone always thinks, these guys live with like 20 people.
The shitty part about that is like, that's also my reality, right? Like, I grew up with 4 different families living in a 2-bedroom apartment complex or apartment.
Yeah.
But I also realized that like, as time goes on, like you branch off, right? And then that's when your American dream starts. It's not when you get here. It's when you branch off and you start doing your own shit, is when it feels like, oh, okay, well, like this was the crew, the family, the clan that I came with, but I need to figure out me, you know? And I think like once my mom moved out to Jersey and stuff, that's when like I feel like our family is just like my direct family felt like, oh, okay, well now we have to like really figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And like I feel it, but like
I don't know. I don't know what side I feel like I'd take on that, because I understand, you know, she's trying to create something that.
Because like, I mean, if it's not her, if it's not going to be her, then it's going to be some white guy who's going to do a depiction on it.
It's like, you know,
at least it's a brown chick, right? Yeah. You know, like, and yeah,
I didn't see it. I thought it was hilarious when I was watching the trailer for it and everything. I was like, this looks fucking dope, but
yeah,
I could see where people can be like, oh, that's kind of offensive, and then the things they say all the time, like their little taglines and stuff, are like super stereotypical. It's like, or some shit. I forget what they always say.
Yeah, it's kind of like I was watching Get Him to the Greek.
Oh, nice.
Okay. And then fuck, I think it's Jonah Hill's character, where he's just like, they're like talking like in African or something, and then he's like, I don't know, man, I just play the bongos, and then he just does the black guy just does the like basic like bongo hits, and like it's like that. It's like we're playing a character, the same way that this guy is playing this black guy is playing this African character, but he's really from like the Bronx or something, you know? He was just like, I don't know, man. Like I'm just playing this character, and that's it. But yeah, dude, I don't even know. Like,
it's good to have representation, but I understand where people can get offended at the same time too. But
this is the problem with representation, I think. But the problem is that like, if we're gonna act like we're like being thoughtful and representing everyone, if everyone isn't represented, then someone is offended, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
where it's just like, not just having brown people, black and brown people, Asian people on screen Crazy Rich Asians, amazing film, funny, hilarious. But I'm sure there was Asian people being like, why the fuck are they, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah, of course.
And on the flip side, there's people like Bobby Lee being like, why wasn't I on this film? You know, like why? You know? And it's just like it's a weird dynamic to be a part of something that is forward thinking, but also your people.
It's gotta be stressful, dude. It's such a bipolar situation where it's like, God, people either love you or they fucking hate you.
It's insane, and
there's nobody in between. Or very small. It's a small group.
I feel like the majority is in between.
Maybe, yeah.
But the loudest people are on the side.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. I mean? You're right. Because only that 2 to 3% of people actually watch these YouTube videos are the ones that are commenting.
Yeah,
and those are the ones that just need to have their voice heard at all times.
Which is insane.
Like, I can't even remember the last time I commented on it. Like,
I think the only time I commented
to comment back, like, right?
The last time I commented was just like to timestamp something, and I was like, "This is funny," and that was my last like comment on YouTube.
But that's kind of dope. That's just like giving yours just a little.
Just being like, "Oh, dude, that was funny."
Going a little bit extra to acknowledge besides just the like or the watch. It's just like outside of this is good.
Outside of being like, I wouldn't respond to anyone. I wouldn't like that. To me, it just seems like. That to me seems like I'm feeding into this the world, the universe that they're trying to create.
As fun as it is to just go down the comments and watch that shit and then go down different like
it's
threads
insane.
And just watch people argue with each other. It's like, bro, like, what are you doing?
I don't know who these people are who think that they have like this like that they're like the morale police. Yeah. You know, where it's just like if you say something's gay or like blah 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 or like say whatever, like I get why you want to be like, hey, we don't say that here. I understand that 1,010%. But if you're not like able to just punch that person in the face, why are you saying anything? You know, it doesn't like, it's not going to change the world. You know, you're maybe making your corner of the world a more moral place, but you're not making a better place, you know? And I guess it's like some weird psychology shit. Yeah. But like it's crazy to me now that like we're having like now that we're on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, TikTok, we're like on all these things.
Coming up on Spotify.
Yeah, and then we're gonna be on Spotify. Like to me, it's more so just like how do I not like react to shit? Because there's some comments, even some of our guests, I won't name names, but they're business owners that like I posted up their thumbnail, I posted up some reels, and then someone came on our platform to like shoot at them, you know? What? Like, yeah,
I'd rather hear about this off camera.
I mean, I've shown you the comments.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. You're right. Yeah, I do know those ones. Yeah. I thought there was new ones. Like, okay.
But like, even that, like, that was during Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, that was
where crazy. I got all of those comments, and I was like, oh shit, and I was like, I obviously showed not everyone, but like other guests who were on there. I'm like, hey, like, just to let you know, this is what could potentially happen to you. You know, I don't know who follows you, I don't know who has a vendetta against you, but at any given point, like, these things can happen. And likewise with me, you know, like there's probably girls out there who fucking hate me. And yes, I'm saying girls because those are the people who I probably did the most dirt to, you know, because I'm a scumbag and I'm a piece of shit. And I realize that. And I know that. I go to therapy. But like, that's the thing that where it's like, it's kind of like daunting, you know? And also, I don't know what's gonna hurt more or less. Is it gonna be the stranger talking shit who doesn't know me but has a strong opinion, or is it going to be the person who I know who just is like, this wasn't it, you know?
Yeah, they're both going to suck. But honestly, I feel like from listening to all the podcasters, it feels like it's that fucking stranger for some reason.
Yeah,
because maybe you know that other person, so you can be like, that fool's full of shit. He don't do goddamn thing himself. So like, but if it's just someone you don't have any idea who they are, what they are, and they're coming at you like that, you're like, God, this could be some like fucking genius millionaire guy just talking shit, and I don't know who the fuck it is.
And this is also my crazy psychotic brain, where like we're talking about a stranger, right? Yeah. But in my head, it's still someone who created an account who I know just to talk shit. Like, that's how crazy I am, you know? Where I'm just like, nah, it can't be just some random from like Illinois. It has to be.
I mean, I'm sure that's happened, or it could happen.
Right, right. But like that's how dumb my head
is. Go right away.
Yeah, it's just like it's not the random. It's my neighbor, or it's like, you know, the kid I went to high school with, which could be. And you know, if you're watching, at least you're watching, right? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just like, comment, and subscribe. But no, seriously, like it's just like a weird thing to think about when you're like doing content and putting your face out there and putting your words out there, where like I know people will react. I'm not necessarily saying that they're gonna listen. A lot of you guys don't fucking listen to the words. A lot of you guys just fucking hear something and then react to it. And there's a reason why I posted a fucking Tomorrowland fucking
dude, I had no fucking idea.
And also, this is not a funny situation. It's not funny. It's not funny, dude. My prayers go out to anyone hurt, injured, or killed. I actually don't even know what actually happened at Tomorrowland.
What the?
I don't know what happened. I just saw people like, you know, posting like a black square, you know, type thing with like
that belongs to BLM, guys.
Yeah. It's like,
get a different color square.
Yeah, fucking, come on. But at Tomorrowland, someone snuck in. I don't know if they snuck in. I don't know if they snuck in a gun or they themselves snuck in
with a gun.
A gun. But someone did go out to Tomorrowland. Unfortunately, you know, brought a gun. Had like. I don't know. I honestly don't know. And we can easily do research right now, but it doesn't really. It doesn't matter necessarily. What happened is just super unfortunate. But I posted a reel about something completely different, and I misspoke and said Tomorrowland when I meant to say Zombieland. And like I had a homie hit me up and they're like, "Hey dude, like this is a funny clip, but just this is probably not the best week to put it up, you know, because literally this happened 3 days ago, you know." But the clip that I got it from, we recorded that like a week or two prior, you know. Wow. So it was just like I didn't even put two and two together, but I kept it up because like I'm not gonna post and delete, because then you know. But I'm also not gonna try to explain myself. Like if you get offended off a zombie thing that we weren't even talking about like the situation, then like
we were talking about zombies in Zombieland.
Yeah,
and it accidentally
Biggie also said like blow up like the World Trade Center. You know, like you know,
y'all still listen to that shit?
Yeah, you know, and like fucking dude. Also, speaking of World Trade Center, oh god, this is my brain. But dude, did you know that there's a Building 7?
What do you mean?
There's the Twin Towers, right? We have the Twin Towers. These two guys right here, both of them fell, but like a block or so away, there was Building 7. And Building 7 is, I don't know what the actual, like, I don't know, like, the conspiracy as to what they were, like, what information they had. Mm-hmm. But literally, that building also dropped without anything actually impacting it, without anything, you know, going on, and it fell perfectly. If you watch the video, it was one of those like detonation.
There's all kinds of controvery around 9/11.
Oh, dude, 9/11 is just like crazy.
How perfectly everything happened and the way the buildings fell, that they're like, it's the only way you can make something out like that is if you planted dynamite in certain levels and made it collapse in certain ways.
And dude, oh my god,
having the plane hidden up top make it completely collapse like that. I don't know, man. I don't want to believe it because I feel like that's terrible. If we actually planned our own fucking attacks so that we can have a reason to go to war. I don't know if that's real, or I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah,
but when you hear shit like that, when a building, I didn't even know about that, a building completely not even near it goes down for no reason. It's just like, well, fuck, that just kind of like.
It just adds
solidify
fuel to the
fire. Fuel to the fire.
Because like, and like, also I didn't know, like, I I was fucking 3, 4, 5 when this shit happens, you know? So like, what the fuck do I know? Yeah. But like going through all these things, like, I guess like, you know, if a building falls, there should be rubble. There should be like, you know, shrapnel. There should be fucking whatever, paper, you know, whatever the fuck. But
buildings made of cement and metal, it's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah, but they're like what they were telling people was that like since the building is 107 stories tall or whatever, however tall it is, that as it was falling, by the point of impact on the floor, that it just completely disintegrated everything, and it was just like
metal beams.
You know, like how
maybe drywall and wood and all that stuff like that, but like
maybe
the metal pieces,
dude. A person jumped out and I saw their body. I can still see their body. Yeah. If a human being can jump off of fucking 50 stories, which is awful and is not, you know,
we're like bags of blood, bro. We're just like
we're like 93% water.
Yeah, dude.
You know, like, dude, we're like, if they are still intact, why wouldn't steel and like, you know, all this shit?
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's always a tricky one because people get so offended when you start talking about it.
I mean, sure,
like, this is our country, it's America. It's like,
but it's also I mean, shady, but it's also nice to think that the only time we can get attacked is because we attacked ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, like our defense is so good that like we got to create problems in order
get that fucking oil.
Yeah.
They're like, bro, we need that oil, dog.
But yeah, like, dude, fuck TikTok. Honestly, this is what you guys get when I'm on TikTok, dude.
Exactly, like, dude. That's what I'm saying. I'd be stuck on that shit, conspiracy shit all day.
Insane, dude. The amount of like alien shit that I've been watching, and just like all that shit, like, oh my, like
the fact that NASA scientists and like the heads of NASA are coming out and being like, yo, there are aliens. There's a bunch of different races. Like, the reason we got their attention now is because we finally have a weapon that can not only affect our planet, but it could also affect interstellar situations because it's like such a strong weapon in Alaska. It can target like ships and stuff. So now we got their attention.
Yeah.
So now they're coming down like, yo, y'all need to chill the fuck out or we're going to have to do something about it.
Yeah.
And that's what basically NASA's trying to say to us, that we can't be fighting each other. There's no need for wars with each other. We need all to come together. And nobody's listening to it. It's not on any news websites, not nowhere. They're trying to like bury this shit.
It's crazy.
I don't know if it's, but I want to say that, I don't know. I want to be skeptic, but at the same time, it's like, bro, these are like our best scientists. Like, this is what they do. But also at the same time, they're corruptible, you know?
Yeah. It's
just a trip.
It's just crazy. It's crazy to me that like we're at the point of time where we can hear something and it could be true and we can still be like, nah, you know, like that, like, it's just
crazy,
so, like,
bro.
We don't know who to trust. We don't know. Like, dude, kids are going to school.
Have you seen the Don't Look Up?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it reminded me of right now because I just rewatched it.
Did you watch the Theo Von Roseanne interview?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Is it good? Bitch is crazy.
She's wild.
She's crazy.
She's definitely got some shit going on.
She's definitely crazy, and she's definitely... I don't know whether it's because...
Fuck, I want to watch it now.
Dude, it's just a lot because I don't know if it's because I think she's crazy that like I can kind of brush off some of the stuff she says, but at the same time during the 90s she was that bitch. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like she had the highest rated watched show,
and she wasn't like some beautiful actress that like she was just herself and she blew up like that.
Yeah, and like and the thing that she was saying was she was like I reached the top. I saw everything. Like, you know, like, what do you want to know type shit. And it was just such a weird interview where like, I'm like, I want to believe you, but half the stuff you're saying is kind of crazy. But a lot of it was just like population control. A lot of it was like all these things.
Really? She goes into all that?
Dude, it's insane. And you can just tell that like Theo is just like uncomfortable.
Yeah, I could just imagine it. I'm imagining his face right now and just that weird like smile he does where he's like, shit.
Yeah, and he's just like, and it's one of those where you're like, you just gotta let your crazy aunt just fucking go off, you know?
See, when she's on Kill Tony, she doesn't get to be stuck on mic, but when she is, she'll like go off a little bit around stuff. She'll just say, I can't imagine her just full blown tell me everything.
It's crazy. And they did it at the mothership. Shout out Joe Rogan.
Oh, they shot it there?
Yeah, it looks beautiful. Shit. It looks
it's Texas.
Yeah, it's a real cool. That's like
cool. Fuck yeah.
But that interview was just like, it was just so interesting because I mean, like, she's an older lady, you know.
Really? Yeah, she's like 70, 80.
Yeah, she's older, you know. She had her mistakes, you know. We can't, you know, call people gorillas, you know. Like, you know, like, it's not okay.
Her reboot was doing so good.
Dude, but even with the reboot, right? Like, the reboot, like, they made it a point to be, like, Republican. Mm-hmm. You know, which is cool. Like, to me, that's cool because it's just like there's no real like outside of the stereotypical dad in most shows nowadays, where you're just like, oh, we don't do that. We don't do, you know, blah blah blah. We vote for red or whatever. Like, there wasn't that representation at all for like just a Republican family. And there's a lot more Republicans in California than California wants to let you know.
It's kind of weird. But back in the days, the values that we look at as Democrats were considered Republican, and then somewhere along the way it swaps.
Yeah,
and we're actually in the middle of it doing it again. Well, so nowadays you're kind of seeing this Republican view start to take over a little bit more.
Yeah,
you're starting to see Democrats with these weird ass kind of like extremist kind of ideas, and the Republicans are like, well, so now you're starting to see people who like were Democrats switching over, and it's like, I mean, I might be in the middle of a switch again.
I'm not gonna lie, like
I don't know what I am anymore.
Oh, I have no political. I have no political game.
I used to consider myself Democrat, but I don't know what I am anymore.
I can't even vote. So I'm just gonna put it like that.
Shit, look at me with my privilege, with my fucking privilege over here, fucking.
Like, you know, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just happy to be here. But like the thing is, like, with the whole Democrat and Republican stuff, the more Republicans just shut up, the more support they'll have. And Democrats are just like, Democrats are fucking crazy, are extreme in the sense of like, especially here in the West Coast, Bay Area Democrats. Like, dude, I understand you and I hear you, but like, dude, you've never been punched in the face. You've never no one's actually called you a F slur. No one's actually called you the N word. No one's ever actually called you a spig. You know, like
those people are the ones screaming the loudest,
and that's the part that
offended the most
for
people. It's like, let people freaking be offended for themselves.
That's why, like, I'm gonna sound crazy saying this, but that's why I kind of like Trump. You know, like, dude,
bro. If nothing else, homeboy is so entertaining.
He's just so much fun. He's just so much fun, and also like
every day, some wild shit on Twitter, dog.
Calling it the China virus is insane.
The balls on this guy.
Hilarious. The Kun flu? Dude. That is hilarious.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Shit. And he's just like, wait, it came from China, right?
Yeah. And the funny part is like when the Spanish flu was going around, I'm sure someone from another country was saying, you know, like, oh, that the whatever flu, you know, whatever slur, you know,
for the Spanish at the time.
Yeah, you know, and it's like
even the Spanish flu can be considered offensive now.
Which is insane.
It's like that's exactly what they were.
That's what millions of us were taught. You know, like that's what it's called. I understand. You know, this is
it's COVID. Like we're just trying to be literal about it.
Yeah. Well, we got to know where it came from, right?
I was like, we don't know how it came from China, but we know that it came from there. Whether it was made in the lab or it came from bats. Or whatever the fuck.
I don't even know. They want to tell okay, like I think we kind of like talked about this a little bit, like in some of the earlier episodes, but like how media kind of like how movies, shows, and like the media kind of like not brainwash us, but kind of like prepare us, right, for like what's to come. Whether that is aliens, you know, whether that is a virus, you know, like all this shit has been shown to us. And of course it's what's the word, hyperbolized, in these movies and stuff. But even just like the movie, like don't look up. Like I think that's kind of, they're trying to tell us a little something, you know?
Yeah.
Like them telling us not to look up means like, hey, like fucking get off your phones. Get off your phones. Look around. You know,
it's kind of scary that like we don't have a huge like system that's space is so big, dude.
Yeah.
To try to like detect from every direction if something's gonna come at us and destroy us, it would take so much money and so much people working together that this planet doesn't have that.
Well, also
and they won't do it.
Well, also like maybe the lack of people and technology looking at, you know, the cosmos, makes it easier for the masses, or makes it easier for those who are controlling or like, you know, have power to really like determine what information is, you know, is put out there. Because even like the Roseanne thing, she was talking about how like it's not brainwashing, it's just like it's training. You know, it's training you to be like, hey, you can pick one side or the other. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but shit's gonna happen eventually. You know, whether that is this apocalypse of the internet, which is super probable. You know, one giant solar flare and we're fucked. Like all of our signals are gone, our GPS is gone, fucking we can't call our parents, like all that shit is gone. And if that happens for 2 months, if it happens for 2 months,
the banks, people are gonna lose their mind.
People are done, dude. Like we're gonna be ripping each other's heads off,
dude. Like we rely so heavily on the internet now that all it takes is just to turn that
That's
off.
my biggest fear. Is if the internet is gone, then immediately people are gonna fucking start killing each other.
Just robbing places, looting places, just
because then it becomes survival. It becomes survival. Yeah. It becomes more of like a
if I can't access my money because of the internet, now I don't have any money, so now I got to go steal shit.
Yeah.
And now I have to go find stuff to keep my family alive.
That's just gonna be.
And then people with the guns, and it's gonna be all out. It'll be all out chaos, dude.
That's what.
There's not enough cops to control everybody.
Oh fuck no! And you think the cops aren't gonna be thinking about themselves?
Yeah, they're gonna go home and try to fucking collect food themselves.
Yeah, like
and all the people who kept cash are gonna be the ones like, but even then, cash is gonna be
irrelevant.
It's like, what does this mean to me? Paper? Like, what do you have that
you can burn that? You know, like dude, literally during the Great Depression, people were burning cash
to stay warm.
Like I think like the same way that the pendulum swings on like the woke versus the like whatever red pill state, whatever you want to call them, like the pendulum of just like civilization, right, is gonna keep swinging. Like we just came through a pandemic, but I think within the next like decade or so, something else is gonna happen. I don't know,
sooner than that for sure.
I think it's just gonna come more and more frequent. You know, like I think
we live in the most wild. This is such a unique time to be alive. I feel like everybody should be either grateful or terrified to be alive right now.
It's insane. It's that double-edged sword where it's just like, dude, we have everything at our fingertips, but and then we also have nothing when we don't have this fucking thing.
Exactly.
You know, like in our hands. If we don't have this, you're fucked. You know, and it's just like, what am I supposed to do if like even to find a babysitter if you're a parent, even if you like grocery shopping, fucking whatever it is, like you can find it there. You can find your medicine online, you know, just be like, oh, who has penicillin? Who has this? Who has that? You know, like all that shit, dude. It's insane. And like we're so accustomed to having it so like at our disposal that I think like once you aren't like able to access your 4G, you know, or Wi-Fi, like we're fucked. We are fucked. Dude. And then also, speaking about being fucked, like, okay, dude, fucking TikTok, man. TikTok has been fucking ruining my mind. But like with did you know that in China they're building ghost cities?
Ghost cities? What was that?
They're building like replicas of like Hong Kong and like New York City type cities in places that are deserted. Like, no one lives there. No one does anything because all their major cities are right next to the ocean. Like right next to the ocean line. They're already preparing for sea level to rise 10, 20 feet. And if that happens, everyone who lives on those coastal cities need to move inland.
Yeah.
The U.S. hasn't prepared for any of that, which is to get a conspiracy why like the Denver airport is such a big thing, you know, and it's also a mile long fucking airport. Which,
miles, bro. It's like underground. They said it's even bigger.
Exactly. So it's just like, what are they preparing for? What is it for?
It's definitely a bunker for the president and for all the highly people to survive for a couple of years at least. Years at least.
It's not classified or whatever, but if something happens, that is where the president gets sent to.
It's the first place they send the president.
And that's insane. Going on. You know what I mean? It's just like, and then
like, why the Denver airport? Like, because there's fucking something, they built something so crazy down there, and they're like, we got to put something here to like just make it seem normal. Yeah. And then you see all like there's like all the weird things in the airport that kind of like hint at it, like the artwork.
Yeah,
like certain,
they do it on purpose. You know what I mean?
Why are y'all playing with this?
There's even on the surface, right? On the airport, there's some like hallways that like maybe sees like 35 people a month, right? And these people are like employees cleaning, you know, like there's hallways that there's no reason for them to be there. Like it doesn't take you to a subway. It doesn't.
What is that going to be like the new central city when they fucking, if something happens, or like maybe they had to rebuild from there, and then they at least have all that. What the fuck?
Like it's crazy. It's so insane to me. And also even just like people who like in two facets, right? Like there's, I think it's in Kentucky. There's this venue that is in a cave. And it's a venue, and it looks fucking sick. It looks fucking awesome. Like, you know, and like you're in a cave, and it's a venue. But with that same thing, there has to be like mole people, right? Like there has to be.
There's people that live under Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. Oh, I did see that. Document. Like I think it was Vice that did it, right?
They like it down there, and they like being away from people, and they they enjoy it. They don't want to like. If people have offered to be like, "Yo, how is you up here?" And they're like, "No, we like it down here."
Yeah.
Like that's just the beginning, or maybe that we know of.
The next evolution, that we know of. You know, like that could.
There will be people that are going to develop issues with the sun because they're going underground, and
I don't even think about like
stuff like that they'll evolve like weirdly. But then what if it ends up paying off? What if fucking we have some kind of hit and like the sun fucking gets blocked out, and then we're all struggling, and these fools are just like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, dude, that's.
But it's so crazy. Like this world evolves kind of wildly, but like intentionally. Like there's reason for everything.
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, you know, for every action there's a reaction.
Exactly.
And like the same way that like shit's going down with like the Amazon, right? Like they're like cutting everything down, but then we're like finding new civilizations throughout this place that like no one thought was even possible.
We thought 2,000 years, maybe 2,000, 3,000 years. Now they're finding evidence from like 10,000 years ago of like highly civilized civilization.
Yeah.
That had technology. Like
also, do fucking Christians and Catholics are so dumb?
they don't want that shit to be real, because then it like goes against everything, their Bible and all that.
Yeah, but it's just so crazy to me that there's like, you guys can all agree that like, okay, like the way that we count years, it's before Christ and then after Christ. After death, I think is like AD, right? Yeah. After death. And it's just like, that's so like, you understand that there was a history before all of this.
Yeah.
And then like, even with like Egyptians and everything, like you guys claimed that it was because like they built these temples for the pharaohs, but like the pharaohs aren't even there.
They just opened one recently again, and nothing was in it.
They've never found a pharaoh.
It's like those are not for tombs; they're for communication.
They had to have.
They're for some reason every civilization all around the world that couldn't talk to each other because they didn't have technology all built these giant same shaped figures. It's like, what were they doing with them? People were like, no, they were used for something else, and like they found that like electricity travels through these like structures so well for some reason, right? And can like do crazy things. I'm like, these fools were definitely communicating with each other somehow. There's some kind of crazy technology.
It's insane to me. I don't know. Like it's crazy. I
love this shit.
I love this shit. I love this shit because like a lot of the times like the facts are like number based. They're like the same way that when you look at a math problem and someone solves it correctly, like you can't deny it. There's no denying like, okay, there's a process, that's how you got here and that's the answer. The same way that like that like we'll just take the Egyptians, like everything is calculated so perfectly to like Orion's belt. It's so calculated to true north.
Perfect angles, the way they cut inside that
and like
the tombs.
You can get scientists on record today to be like, honestly, we couldn't even cut marble the way that they cut marble.
Exactly, and even with our modern tools and our modern devices, we can probably maybe duplicate some of this, but not this clean.
Yeah,
how are they doing it this clean? How are they kind of like?
Yeah,
there was something else happening, dude.
If there's any point of history that you can go to, where would you go to?
Fuck. I mean, thinking back like that now, and being able, I might want to try to
go to the Egyptians.
Go to like either the Egyptians to see like what they like. If you show up to the Egyptian times and all that stuff and be like, "Yo, did you guys build this shit?" And then they're like, "No, dude, we came here and we found this shit and we added to it."
Yeah,
like what they think actually happened, and it's for something. I don't know. I want to know, but like also I would like to go back even further and try to see if there was that civilization 10,000 years ago. What if you show up and all of a sudden there's buildings tall? Because, like, it would only take thousands of years for all those buildings to disappear and never show evidence of it again.
Right.
That's the issue with knowing that if there was a civilization back then.
Also, like, to go back to, like, the 9/11, if you can make metal disappear, what makes you think that you can't just make rock disappear?
Yeah.
You know, if there's, like, only ash and rubble, like, what makes you think that, like, you know, like...
I feel like our government can do so much crazy shit that they don't tell. We probably know like 5% of what we are capable of, and we probably think it's the most amazing thing, all this technology we have now. And I guarantee you, our government's playing with shit that we can never even like imagine yet.
Ah, dude.
And
and I was watching watching Transformers, right? Like not the newest.
Oh, I was gonna say the newest one just came out.
It just came out. Not the newest one, but like the one with Mark Wahlberg. And Mark. Yeah,
that was a good one.
And even that one, right? Like, I do right now they're trying to bring back woolly mammoths. You know, they're like replicating. They're putting
because they
DNA,
froze, bro.
Yeah, they're putting DNA into a Indian elephant, having her fucking carry this.
What do you think the benefit of bringing back woolly mammoths are?
I think they're trying to Jurassic Park this shit and be like, oh, they're gonna have cures for our new shit. But it's just like, dude, that doesn't.
That could be also the opposite, though. They could also have diseases that we have no idea how to cure because they're thousands of years old and ancient.
That's like asking your grandparents. Is like, hey, I have this new software update. Can you help me with that?
Yeah.
And it's just like, your grandparents don't know shit.
They're going to get on there and get all kinds of viruses.
Exactly. You know, they're going to download some
and then
shit,
you're going to have to clean that shit up.
Yeah. So it's just like, dude, like what? Like, I don't understand I truly don't understand the logic. I understand the logic when it comes to like things like history, literature, and things like that, like philosophies and shit, where it's just like, if you go back in history, learn history, you won't repeat it.
Yeah.
But you know,
the only benefit I can see from them playing with like old DNA and stuff like that is to try to create something that's way more sustainable, that eats less, that maybe only like pigs and cows to replace our food source. Because eventually we're going to run out of food and we're going to run out of animals and we're going to run out of...
Yeah.
So everything's going to turn to technology based. And they're already trying to make meat out of like with computer and 3D printers and stuff like that. And they're already doing pretty good at it. Like,
well, dude, all our vegetables
it's all going to turn to that. We're all going to be eating biodegradable food.
Dude, Bill Gates owns like 92% of all seeds of the world.
So have you seen that movie Okjaya on Netflix?
Yeah.
So you know how they created that animal? That animal was specifically created so that they can breed it and then just eat it because it's like a mixture of a cow pig.
Pigs nowadays.
Yeah, so I'm saying. So like now, like I feel like that's the only reason to play with DNA like that. Otherwise, why would you want to bring back dinosaurs and giant beasts like that?
Dude, I mean, like
kill us, bro.
But like even genetically speaking, like the plants that you have right here is the same thing. They're bred to yield more with less necessity of like touching it and all this shit. It's the exact same thing. Like it's the same reason why our corn is always yellow and no longer purple.
That's true. I heard about that.
You know, like and it's just like
our corn looks nothing like it did back.
Dude, remember like we did Landelsberg, which is like a representation of Williamsburg, right? And during elementary school, and there's like basket weaving that you can do and all this other shit. But I was just like the thing that interested me the most was even then, like they purposely brought us like a purple corn, red corn, yellow corn, all this other shit to bring it back to that time period. But I'm like, well, why isn't this corn in our stores nowadays? And then our teacher literally was just like, oh, well, those don't yield properly for big farms. And I was just like,
it's literally what I tell to all my customers at the wheat store. They're like, how come you guys don't have like Granddaddy Purple and all the old school strains? And I'm like, because they don't yield. And all these big commercial growers, I think it's a waste of money to grow it because it won't yield as much as these new strains.
It's crazy, like, dude. Everything comes down to like commodity and how much you can flip something.
Yeah.
Flip one single plant. Would you rather have a plant who can give you like 3 ounces versus a whole pound, you know? It's like you're gonna choose
exactly what it is,
you know, and it's just like
the older strains give you about 2 to 3 ounces of plant, and the new strains will give you pounds.
Yeah, you know, so it's just like
you grow a gelato, that shit's gonna yield like crazy, but everything's grown with gelato now.
Yeah, but it's just because it's crazy. It's like a super plant.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
that's why everyone's like, let's cross it with that. It'll yield.
I mean, if you, dude, real fucking conspiracy time. Like, I guess, like, dude, I think that's kind of what they're kind of doing with like us, right? You know, it's just like, I think this like real conspiracy, like, we'll probably get flagged for this or whatever. But like, I genuinely think that this is why I think they built this virus that doesn't kill, it kills people, old people, sick people. But it like
preconditions.
It's gonna play something bigger that we don't really understand yet.
Oh, I've heard of that too.
You know, where it's just gonna be like, hey, well, if you were an autoimmune person, your effects are gonna be different in the next like couple years. If you only got one shot of the vaccine, you're gonna yield a different reaction.
So many people like that too that didn't go through and get both. Or so I'm saying, some people did 3 or 4. Like some people went and got extra without telling. They lied to them and said, "I didn't get my vaccine yet," and got first round they got Pfizer, second round they got Johnson & Johnson, and I know people who even went and got a third round of the other one because they wanted all of them because they were so terrified. It's like, how crazy are you to shove all these different chemicals inside of you, not knowing what's going to happen? I was just arguing
with someone. I was like, hey, like, I'm not gonna go above and beyond for the flu. If I know I'm all right, I'm not gonna go above and beyond.
I regret doing all the vaccines because they did nothing for me. Like now, when I travel, it's like nothing. They don't even ask for it, and I felt like I just fell in line, and I still got COVID after the fact.
I got COVID 3 times.
Oh shit,
dude! Like, and honestly,
I probably got it twice, but only one time I knew of. But there was one time that I felt hella terrible. I was just in denial. I didn't want to take a test.
Also, like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. I got COVID on purpose twice. I needed some days off.
You knew someone that had it and you hung out with it? That's hilarious.
Dude, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the first time that I got it was pre-vaccine. Okay. And
damn, you got it early. You got the early strain.
I got the early one.
The early strain was the scariest one.
And
that was the one that was actually
and I was okay. That one scared me because there wasn't a vaccine. There wasn't anything. People were like, "You're gonna die. You know, you're gonna heat up to like 113 and you're gonna melt from the inside out." If I would have got
it then I would have been panicking. I would have probably panicked myself.
I was
sickness.
Also I like that time. The first time that I got it was kind of sketch because I was like, it was me and one roommate who was working. So I was like, oh, if I die at like 9 o'clock, my body is not going to be found until like the next day at 3 once I start smelling
that shit all
you know. And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna like
that ain't an anxiety thing that we think about that shit.
But like also like on the other side of like that whole like panic mode, I was just like, I got a 2-week vacation, you know, and I'm just sitting at home getting paid,
dog. Yeah, dude. Paid, bro. Paid.
I got fucking the fucking
bonus stimulus,
dude. It was a time.
That's why it kind of fucked everything up because it got so many people, and then anybody who went on unemployment got bonus unemployment.
People
they were getting paid more than me, and I was working. I was so mad. I was just like, "Can you guys fire me,
essential
please?"
And not able to feed myself.
That pissed me off. Like I was just like, "How come you guys made us essential and now we're working?" We should be the one getting the extra little perks here and there. Give them, their full unemployment and everything. Yeah. But why are they getting an extra $600 every?
Give me a dash pass for a year, government.
Give me something, bro. I'm out here still trying to serve you guys weed and shit, and the guys at McDonald's are still trying to serve you food and shit. Like we should be out here getting that extra couple hundo, but they didn't. They didn't give a shit.
It was a crazy time, and it was just so weird. It was a very, very telling as to like Americans' priorities.
Yes.
And just like how we as a society are going to react to other people's misfortune. And it was just so weird to me to see how we treated old people versus
that was not good.
Like and also seeing parents how they parent. Because the parents were the loudest. They were like, why aren't my kids allowed to go to school? Some of them were like, let them get it. Who gives a fuck? Like they're gonna be the fucking ones who are gonna be.
Because they grew up in that lifestyle where it's like, yo, the only way to get over this is we all got to go, and then it's herd mentality. It's herd immunity,
right?
Where it's like, well, we've all caught it, so now we're not allowing it to just jump and mutate. It's like, no, we all got it. Now we're all chilling.
Right.
Let's build up immunity together, and then we'll be killed. And that's what happened. Eventually, when all this bullshit died down and they just stopped, they got a little more lenient with it. Now people get sick, but like people aren't dying, and there's not
also like
rates aren't going up.
On like that same token of like, if everyone gets this sickness, then it starts slowing down. People are still gonna get sick. The flu is the flu. You're gonna get sick, but the problem was there were so many different vaccines from so many different companies that this thing was just was mutating, you know? So it was just like, well, the more you try to find not even a cure. It wasn't even a cure. It was just like, it's like, a vaccine is just purposely getting you sick in order for your body to help fight something that it knows it's gonna.
That's what the whole thing was with the other half of the people that didn't want to fuck with the virus. It's just like, well, people are still getting it. It's just like, yeah, but like the people that were dying it was higher rate.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, now people are vaccinated, they're getting it, but they're not dying as a high rate anymore. So it's like, it's helpful. I don't know, man. The whole vaccine thing is so bipolar. I hate getting into it.
I'm not anti-vax.
I'm not anti-vax or I'm not pro-vax. I needed to go to work. I needed to travel. I needed to do things. I needed to go to events. Yeah. And I couldn't without a card. So I pussed out and I fucking did it because I needed that. Don't get me wrong, dude.
I fucking
for the people who did it, bro, dude, I salute those motherfuckers because they toughed it out for 2 to 3 years.
I did get one vax. I got one. I got the shot. I did it. But then once I got the card, I fucking I copied it.
Oh, so many people did that, dude.
I copied it and then just changed the dates. Yeah. And then been like, oh, he got both doses. And like that's what I did.
Bro, we live in like technology of Photoshop and all that shit.
Dude, I was like, dude, I'm not gonna get 2 shots for what? Dude,
I wish I knew.
The last time I got a shot was in elementary school for anything, for like
because they wouldn't let you go to elementary unless you did it,
for
right?
like tuberculosis.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's like, dude, the last time you heard someone had tuberculosis, like people were still riding horses. You know, like, what are you talking about? You know, like the chicken pox. Everyone is okay with your kid getting the chicken pox because they'll
have chicken pox parties, bro. They'll invite kids over to be like, let's have all of them need to get it so that we can get out of the system.
You know what I mean? It was just like, okay, you guys are okay with that, but this new thing that only like really hurt and killed people who were already ill, who were already, you know, like. There's
of course the certain situations where people were healthy and they died, but it was so rare and so uncommon that it was just like.
And also, no one would be able, like, no one was able to really attribute that to the vaccine, or was it the?
That's the thing too, where every time that someone dies, it's always these guys. It's because of vaccine, but then there's never any proof. They can't find the proof. They can't figure it out, and it's like, well, I'm a proof guy, dog. I'm a person where like. Show me the numbers, show me the research, show me all that stuff. And like, I don't even believe in self-research as much because everyone likes to use that word. Like, oh, I did the research. I did. Bitch, just because you watched 2 YouTube videos doesn't mean you did the research. Yeah. You know what? The word research means you went and you calculated every scenario, every outcome. You spent months and weeks writing up every option of like you did the full research. You know what all the outcomes would be. Watching 2 videos about someone's opinion on a matter doesn't mean you did the research. So when all these Karens come out and
but just know that I did my research and all this shit is facts. You know,
we do our research.
Hell yeah, dude! I saw 3 YouTube videos. Bruh. Thank you very much. But you know,
nah, dude, I ain't talking about us. Fuck that,
dude. Nah, but
we speak with intention.
I mean, it's intention. I don't know if it's good intention.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. That's why I didn't say good intention.
But no, like I don't know, man. It's crazy. Like I just wish. I don't know. I just wish we got like real. Like I just wish I was back in the day. Like I kind of wish that I lived back in the day where like ignorance was a bliss.
Yeah.
You know, where I was just like, oh yeah, dude, eat Frosted Flakes. It's good for you. Not knowing that like 12 grams of sugar in one bowl is not good for you. You know, like, dude, just fucking, I'm okay with that. Going to McDonald's every other day.
There's people out there that live till like 90 some years old that ate all the chemicals and did all the bad things and they still made it through somehow and didn't have to worry about all this bullshit we're doing.
I think we die earlier. Bro. I think we die earlier because we like think about these.
Oh, we definitely can think ourselves into sickness, and that's the mind is so powerful.
I was really thinking about that the other day, where I was just like just randomly, like I like looked at like I have this little mole that I've had for like years, but I forget about it, and then I look at it and I'm like, is that cancer?
Yeah,
you know,
I do that shit all the
and I'm like, oh, if I keep thinking like that, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's why I try to tell myself, no, don't think about it like.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like I think like that speaking into existence, that like mind power thing.
Manifestation is extremely powerful.
Yeah, and like that's scary to me, and also like. I mean, shout out to alcohol. But like, that's what, like, but like, I've been like thinking about it where I'm just like, I think the reason why I am like sometimes I get in my depressed like sad boy ass mentality, which I was like for the past like 2 weeks, even though
that was me this last week, bro.
Like even though I was booked and busy, link in bio, fucking sharing this and like I was doing all the things on social media, but like at the end of the day I was still like mad sad.
Yeah.
And I think it's because like in my own head, I've kind of trained myself to think that that my happiness doesn't come from the activities. So then the activities end up not mattering. And then I just feel tired after the fact.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy the thing that I'm doing, even though I do enjoy doing all this stuff.
You literally just read my mind for this last like weekend with Rick. Like, as much as I enjoyed doing it, there was so much of it that I was just like, I'm not having fun right now. Like it's so like it's work, it's like stressful. And then I got back and I was overwhelmed because it was just like I had just met hundreds of people and just talked to so many people and just, I was supposed to be on vacation, just relaxing, and all I did was just talk and videotape.
Yeah.
And so when I got back, I went through this weird little like spiral where even my dad noticed. He was like, "You all good? Like, you seem different since you got back." I'm like, I just kind of need to recharge because like it's too many people, it's too many things, like too many things happen.
Yeah.
So I get it when you like, that's a real thing, but at least we acknowledge it and we know.
Yeah, I think that's a good part. I mean, at least anyways, like at least that's how I think about it. Where it's just like, I at least realize it. Like, dude, oh man, what time is it?
It's very important to realize it.
Okay, we got like 8 more minutes, you know, before like we need to wrap this up. But like literally, okay, I have a problem. It's not alcohol, and I will say that. But I do have a problem, and like this past week I said it out loud to my boys. And I didn't know what their reaction was going to be, nor did I really care. But like the fact that I said it out loud like made it real for myself, and like I realized how much just like saying it and being like, "Oh dude, like I'm having issues. Like I don't know where to, like, I feel like the walls are closing in, but also the floor has just dropped and I'm just like, you know, holding on." And it was one of those situations, and I know how depressed I am, how fucking, you know, my mind works and everything, but it was the first time that I was using something to cope with things. And like that scared me because I'm okay being sad and depressed. I'm fine with that. I'm actually the happiest when I'm in that state because it's normal to me now.
Yeah.
And like using stimulants to cope with shit or like to not think about things was never something that I did. But I did within the last month, and like even my coworkers were like, "Why are you extra like antsy, or why are you so like aggressive?" And it brought me back to that me at Phil's, where I was like doing Adderall, I was drinking coffee, I wasn't drinking water, you know, and it like really put me in. Like I ended up like spiraling. I didn't post anything. I didn't fucking, you know, like the only reason why I posted flyers was because the people who booked me were like telling me you need to post. But I didn't post clips. I didn't do anything, you know, on the podcast end, because like that's the one thing that like I can kind of control.
Yeah.
And like I just kept like I was like in this weird spot, and like I've been hanging out with like my ex Fernanda. She's moving away, so like I've been hanging out with her and using her almost as like a crutch to not deal with my own shit.
She's moving?
She's moving back to Oregon.
College or just
no, for like I think like I the same thing, just like a
change.
reset, just a reset, just to go back. She's like trying to change her career and everything.
Sweet.
But yeah, it was just like I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna make this week the best week that you can have, so and then I can feel like I did something, you know, even like using you to like better myself,
but not in a negative way though, because you're doing it for her still, but it's also benefits you, so it's almost like
it's weird. It's
weird. A character fault, but also it's weird. I feel you, because I feel the same way about a lot of things where it's just like
even today, like I mean, Andres, I fucking love you, dude, and I love you, but I'm still gonna talk shit. But like Andres was supposed to be here, and he like we were at the fucking bar and club and just fucking
when this weekend,
this past weekend, being like, oh dude, like, oh, I can't wait to be on the podcast. Monday's gonna be so much fun, this and that, da da da. He ended up having to do stuff for family, which you know, if he's lying, I hope he never tells me the truth. You know, just so I can be like, it's family.
I mean, I celebrated Father's Day today too, though. So
it wasn't for Father's Day.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I know a little more about this guy.
It wasn't for Father's Day, and you know, like, and you know, and I don't want to. I like whatever. It's fine, but like my pet peeve is like I've always said, my pet peeve is people who are tardy and then people who lie.
Yep.
You know, like if you can lie well for the betterment of the group or for the betterment of the situation, that's okay. That white lies are okay.
That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I'm completely fine with white lies.
You know, but if it's like, if it's constantly just like, if you're just lying just to lie, like that to me is just like, why? For what?
For what?
For what? You know, like what who does this help?
We're homies. You don't need to lie to me like that. Just tell me why. Like, say I'm nervous to be on camera so I can be like, yo, like, if we shoot this episode and you decide you don't want it shown, then we won't post it.
Yeah.
If that maybe is the little extra step to get him in the door, get him in the seat, and then they end up having a great time, they're like, no, I love it. But like, talk to us. Don't just be like, oh, I can't.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It like to me, like the same way that like I schedule interviews is the same feeling I get when I book you guys for gigs.
Yeah.
Like if you're not willing to make the time to showcase yourself and your art, I literally was about to tweet this, but it was out of anger, and it was, you know, so good. Like I didn't.
Good. Sometimes you have to stop yourself.
And it's in my drafts, you know.
Bro, believe me, I just talked to my dad about that. How I write up drafts, and then I'm like, I can't send that. Yeah. Like an hour or two later,
you know. And it was reactionary to the whole situation.
Yeah.
But like it's still, I still feel this where it's just like, if you're not willing to put an hour's worth of time for your craft,
then why should a stranger?
Then exactly, how am I gonna believe that you really want this?
Yeah,
you know, it's like and especially if I'm making it easy to be like, what time do you want? Do you?
That's why I left all day open today, because I was like, whenever you guys are good, because I know it matters with the guests is most important. Yeah,
and I'm just like, all right, whatever you need. Do you need me to Uber you? Do you need alcohol? Do you need weed? Do you need this? Do you need that? Like whatever it is that you need,
like, give me your rider, bro.
Yeah, I will do it. But if you're not willing to be like, let me block this off. Yeah. The people who have come on have blocked off 3 hours of their time because they're coming from San Francisco. A lot of the people who cancel on me are the people who are fucking local down here. Yeah. You know, and it's just like,
I just saw you yesterday, bro.
Yeah. And it's just like, dude, you weren't sick. Your grandma wasn't sick. Your dad wasn't sick. You know, like all this shit was fine.
I really feel like it is the nervous thing.
And a lot of it. And that's I feel like fine.
A big portion of it is. But like,
but it's just like, to me, the same way that like I talk shit about people who are like, just put it out. The same way with this is just like, dude, you need to be on stuff. You know, like if people don't hear your voice or see your reaction or like know how you feel,
I promise you, in like 5 to 10 years, everybody will have been on a podcast, because this shit is gonna blow up, and it's already blowing up to the point where it's so diluted that it's yeah, exactly, it's too saturated. Yeah, where comedians are already starting to get turned off from it. But if you get in now and you get on a podcast now that you can say, oh, dude, I was on a podcast 3-4 years ago, and you already get used to the feel of it. When this becomes the new normal where everyone has their own talk show, everyone has their own content, everyone has their own platform, which is already happening. Yeah. But now it's starting to transition to more professional, where we're not just sitting in front of our phones talking to TikTok. Yeah. We're like, let's get a studio, let's do this, all that. Like, we're inviting you to become a part of this now.
Yeah.
To get everybody ready for it. And like, this is inevitable, guys. This is going to happen.
It's the next step.
It is. And it's like, want to join now and get used to it now, then let's go. But yeah, if you're too scared, then you know,
because the thing is, like,
if this shit blows up later and all of a sudden these fools start hitting you up, can I join on the pod? You're like,
dude, I'm stacked. The shitty part, and here's the thing that like genuinely the thing that makes me upset is the fact that like I'll check up with you, I'll like be like, hey, just want to, are we still good?
Down? Yeah, you're good about that. Yeah,
you know, and it's just like, then day of you tell me some bullshit. I'm just like, to me it's just like, oh, that's a slap in the face. It's like to me it's just like, dude, well, like, I blocked off my day. Yeah. Matt blocked off his day. We have the camera set up. We have this. Like, I prepped questions for you. Like, do you think that this is like, you think I just come here and just fucking
wing that shit?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like,
which, like,
sometimes, but like a lot of it is just you pre-planned in your head ahead of time. So
exactly.
Like, even though you're not writing down a laptop like the first couple episodes.
And also, I don't want to fucking talk to everyone. I'm asking you because I want to talk to you.
It should almost be considered a compliment. It should be like, yo, like there's people that I can't have more than like a 5 to 10 minute conversation with because they drive me crazy or like they just are not interesting. But if I'm asking you to be like, yo, can you want to come talk to me for like an hour and a half? That's because I think you're interesting. That's because I think you have good shit to talk about. Take that as a compliment and be like, yo, maybe I am interesting.
And also, it's just like, it's like, just think about it like this, where it's just like, if you're a DJ and I'm asking you to come on the podcast as a solo artist, it's because I think you can, like, you're a headlining type artist.
Yeah.
In my head, I like to believe that you are this person, that you tell people that you are online. Mm-hmm. And if you're,
it's almost like put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, you know,
I'm giving you that opportunity right here to put your money where your mouth is.
And I'm gonna use Andres as an example because I know he can take it, and I know we're actual friends. That's and good, we actually, you know. Sure but like with Andres, right? Like he's opening up for Hannah Watts at Noite on Friday or Saturday or whatever. He was talking up, being like, I'm the biggest fan of her. I've never seen her live. Every time that she's come,
bro, that would been great for here ahead of the show.
And like all this shit, and it's just like, and the story that like kind of clicks with me and him, or what he was saying was, she was supposed to come out to San Francisco, but then she canceled. And he was like, oh, I was supposed to go see her on that day, and like blah blah blah, and it was like, well, how, like your people were supposed to see you this week.
Yeah.
You know,
before a show, they were going to get a special treat to see you for an hour and a half to get to know you a little bit more. And then maybe they show up and be like, bro, I learned some new shit about you this last week or a couple days ago.
Exactly. You know? And it's not, it's to like, there's a difference between like hopping on a train and staying till the end of the road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it like I can ride your wave, your train, your whatever, as long as I want, you know. But if the moment that I feel like, oh, this isn't going anywhere, I'm gonna jump off. Yeah. You know, like
easy. There's so many other trains to jump on, baby.
Exactly. You know,
like keep that shit interesting and like it's man. This whole, if you're in the content game and you're in the social media game, this will only benefit you to sit down and like show a different side of yourself. So I don't know, just don't be afraid.
Yeah, but you know, with that note, I just want to say I love all you guys. Andres, I fucking love you. I'm just using you as an example. I love you. And you literally DM'd me right now because I posted something on my story, and yeah, it was at you. But I love you. I know you can take it. I know we'll have this interview at some point, which goes with a lot of other people. There's a lot of fucking people who have told me they're down, last minute told me that they're not, whether that's their own, you know, emotion, their own thought process or whatever. Maybe they think that they're not good enough. I just want you to know that we fucking believe you. There's a reason why we want you on, you know? And also, you guys are going to help. Yeah. Like, I mean, selfishly, you're helping our numbers too, you know?
100%.
Like, it's a beneficial thing for the both of us. It also allows me and Matt to, like, practice. Yeah. Me with my interviewing, best part, Matt with his editing, like, all that shit. It's practice. Like, yeah, it sucks calling all you guys locals because we are all locals, but let's fucking practice now before we get to, you know, before we are on main stage type shit, you know, like not all of us are even going to be on main stage.
And like, join us, bro.
Yeah, like, dude,
join us.
Baby steps, dude. Literally, I've been on TikTok for less than 24 hours and we already have over like 1,000 likes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit,
dude! Like, fuck with us, dude. We're doing some shit. We look professional as fuck, dude. We look professional. We're sexy. Like everyone, just wait for it. Just wait for it. And also, like, if you're a content creator, if you're a DJ, if you're a fashion designer, whatever medium you do, just hit me up. I'm more than willing to start backlogging a bunch of these episodes because lately trying to fucking schedule week to week has hurt my feelings more than anything.
I understand Bobby Lee now, and he's just like, people just say no and they don't show up.
Yeah, or don't say anything and then don't show up. And it's just like, dude, like I feel it. I get it. But also, if I put your name on a flyer, if I were to make a schedule of the month, like next month's guests, and then I have that, I think that would make people
accountability.
You know, which
that's kind of a good idea.
But I don't want to have to do that.
I know, but that's kind of sick though, actually, because no one does like a scheduled podcast. Because it's always like a surprise every week. Oh, who's the guest? But if you were to be like, let me give them at least a month ahead.
You know, sick. And like that's something that I've thought about.
But it would depend on the guests. Yeah.
But it's like I'm forcing. Then at that point, I'm like forcing you to come on to speak about your craft. And it's just like, well, I don't want to force you to do anything.
Yeah.
But also, you agreed to this, you know? And it's just like, it's not just me that you're slapping in the face. It's also Matt. It's also like, you know, like everyone else, you know? Like, not everyone wants to see my dumbass face think about, like...
Talk about aliens and shit.
You know, like, what the fuck? Hey. And it's a fun conversation. It's fun. It's silly, you know? It's all this shit. And this is fun to me. Regardless, you know, but like at the end of the day, it's just like it'd be nice to be like to talk to someone else about aliens,
exactly.
You know, like. But I don't know, man. I'm just trying to. I don't know. We're just doing stuff. I just have a lot of things on my head where like people are like, "Oh, you're doing stuff for the community. You don't understand how much you mean to the community." And then you guys are the same ones who don't want to show up.
Yeah.
That's the part that where I'm like, oh, am I doing anything, or are you just telling me just to blow up smoke up my ass, just to like hype me up for no reason? You know,
it's like, yeah.
I love the truth. I hate people who just lie, like just to lie. Mm-hmm. Like that part is, I'm like, dude, keep that shit. I don't need it. I don't need it. I would much rather you guys tell me how I suck. I shouldn't have posted that Tomorrowland thing. People just died. Zombies. Blah blah blah. Like I would much rather you guys.
I just saw that today, and I was like, "That's fucking awesome." And then you told me that, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, you know, but you know, we're here. But you know, much like the zombies, you will be back next week. You know, we'll be here. We'll be alive. And yeah, hopefully next week we'll have some people. I'm gonna probably bring out Christian again. You guys have. He's the only one who is like a fan favorite. People were like, "Bring him back," you know.
Nice,
like,
yeah.
You know, and also it's probably just because like he's my best friend. It's like
easy
that fun dynamic. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna shoot the shit with him. Hopefully on Saturday.
Sick.
We'll have that. There's gonna be I also personally need to take responsibility and like hit up more people, but I'm tired of hitting people up.
Yeah.
That's like, it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, you can do so much to try to like showcase everything. Which is why I also like jumped on TikTok where I'm like, all right, well, let's try to get randoms in, you know?
Yeah.
Let's do the whole thing. And we're moving on to Spotify soon. So that's going to be super fun. But yeah, stay tuned for all that. If you guys, you know, want to stay tuned and keep up with everything, you guys can find us on TikTok now at George.Daniel.pod.
Nice.
You guys can also find all of our content on Instagram at George.DanielPod. You can find all of my stuff, all my future gigs. I'll be in San Jose next week on Friday at La Pura Vitamina, which I think is a Mexican club bar here in San Jose. Shout out Ednas and DNA Radio. I'm going to be there with JCB, aka Jacob, and a bunch of other people. So that's going to be a good time. You guys can find me at George.Daniel__. You can find all your Meraki content at Meraki.BayArea. All the SAC stuff with all the females at MerakiEvents.SAC.
MerakiSack.events.
MerakiSack.events. And Matt, where can the people find you?
Matthew.Talbot. I don't really post very much, but if you guys want to hit me up for anything, podcast, interested in doing your own little thing, it could be short content, long content, whatever you guys want. I'll make it work for you. But yeah, I mean, hit me up.
Yeah. So just make sure to go find us on social media. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Once we get on fucking Spotify, make sure you give us a fucking thumbs up and do whatever. I don't really know on Spotify how you do all that stuff, but like comment, I guess. Just do whatever it needs to like push those numbers. The moment we like actually get monetized on things, you're gonna see a whole different fucking show. Mm-hmm. Like the moment we like start seeing like real like numbers, like best believe I'm done talking to you locals.
Yeah,
best believe
we're gonna be paying for guests.
Yeah, like I'm over asking people to showcase themselves. But we're here and we're doing it for the community for now. But once we take off, it's over. I'm not taking anyone with me. If you're in the car, you're in the car. If you're not, then fucking, buckle up and run because we're going to be gone. But just remember, like, comment, subscribe. We love you guys and peace.
Peace.